the internet going, and that is way too close. Hi, YouTubers. I'm trying to get the YouTube people going in and everything here. So, okay, give me 3 seconds, you guys. 3 seconds. I'm going to do something really quickly. I'll be right back. Now that I have everybody aboard, I was panicking there. Panicking just a smidge. Alrighty. Thank you very much. That was very odd. I could not, and I still can't get the page to reload on my laptop. And I like to operate from the laptop because it gives me a better view, but it's not loading. It's very odd. And I can't turn off and reload it because I'm YouTube living. So, nevertheless, oh wait, there it is. I think I finally got it. Yay! Okay, I think I finally got it. Let's see. Okay, create live. Give me a second here. I'm gonna try something. It's finally loaded. Yes. Okay. I think we are in business. Okay, here we go. Okay, you guys, we're gonna. Sorry. It really isn't my fault this time. I promise. Okay, here we go. Alrighty. Yay, we are in business. Okay, here we go. Yay. Okay. Thank you very much. I hope there's still some people out there because I've got a ton of books to read to you today. And if I don't get through all of them, but I think they're very important. Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land as well as on the Ice Me Bookstore. I was having technical difficulties. I don't know if you guys had the same technical difficulties as I did, but I was having trouble getting the page to load up on the Ice Me Bookstore. So we are here and ready to go, as we say. Okay. Let's see. Let's get started. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Okay, so we got that going. Now we've got our upbeat background music going. And since it's all about election right now, I've got election stories. Grace for President! Yeah, this is written by Kelly DiPucchio and the pictures by LeYuen Pham. Vietnamese. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, sounds Vietnamese or maybe Thai. I don't know. I don't know very well. You know what? I wonder is there something in the back of the book about the authors? Maybe. Okay. Anyway, here we go. Grace for President. Here we go. Oh, there are a lot of our presidents that we used to have. Yeah. Looks like George Washington, Abe Lincoln, Barack Obama, Kennedy, and look, Grace. What was that? Okay. One Monday morning in September, Mrs. Barrington rolled out a big poster with all of the presidents' pictures on it. Grace Campbell could not believe her eyes. Where are the girls? I agree, Grace. That is a very good question, said Mrs. Barrington. The truth is, our country has never had a woman president. No girl president ever? Grace asked. No, I'm afraid not, said Mrs. Barrington. Grace sat at her desk and stewed. No girls. Who'd ever heard of such a crazy thing? Finally, she raised her hand. Yes, Grace. I've been thinking it over, and I'd like to be president. Several students in the class laughed. Well, I think it's a super star-spangled idea, Grace, said Mrs. Barrington. In fact, we can have our own election right here at Woodrow Wilson Elementary. The snickering in the room stopped. Ooh. Grace smiled. Would anyone else like to run for president? Asked Mrs. Barrington. Nobody raised their hand. Becoming president was going to be easy, Grace thought. The next day, Mrs. Barrington made an announcement. In the name of democracy, I have invited Mr. Waller's class to join our election. Their class has nominated Thomas Cobb to be their presidential candidate. Well, has a nice smile, doesn't he? Grace's heart sank. Thomas was the school spelling bee champion. His experiments always took a blue ribbon at the science fair, and he was captain of the soccer team. Becoming president wasn't going to be so easy after all, Grace thought. The teachers put the names of all 50 states and the District of Columbia into a hat. Everyone except for Grace and Thomas got to choose a state. I'm Texas, said Anthony. I'm New Hampshire, said Rose. I'm Michigan, said Robbie. What does number 16 mean? Each state is assigned a number of electoral votes. That number is determined by how many people live in that state, said Mrs. Barrington. Each of you will be a representative of your state. Altogether, our country has 538 electoral votes, Mr. Waller explained. On election day, the candidate who receives 270 electoral votes or more wins the election. Why 270? Asked Rose. That's more than half of the electoral votes, Mr. Waller said. Becoming president really wasn't going to be so easy, Grace thought. Grace came up with a campaign slogan. Make history! Vote Grace Campbell for president! Thomas came up with his own campaign slogan. Vote for Thomas Cobb, the best man for the job. Grace listened to what issues were important to the students, and she made a list of campaign promises. A peaceful school, no bullies, a cleaner school, no littering, better hot lunches, no more fish stick tacos. Hey, I like fish tacos. Thomas made up his own list of promises. Free tutoring, free soccer lessons, fish stick tacos every week. Grace made campaign posters and buttons, and Thomas made posters and buttons too. Each week, the teachers set aside time for the candidates to meet with their constituents, i.e. the other students in their classes. Polls were taken, voters were making their choices. Grace continued to campaign. At recess, she gave speeches. During lunch, she handed out free cupcakes. After school, she held rallies. Meanwhile, Thomas wasn't worried. He had very cleverly calculated the boys, and he held slightly more electoral votes than the girls. At recess, Thomas studied his spelling words. During lunch, he worked on his latest science experiment. After school, he played soccer. Got to keep in shape. Even before the election, Grace made good on her promises. She joined the safety squad. She organized a school beautification committee, and she volunteered her time in the school cafeteria. Woo, looks kind of like she's tired. That's a lot of hard work. Yeah. Woodrow Wilson Safety Squad, kissing babies, and school lunch volunteering. Yeah. Special election. In early November, Woodrow Wilson Elementary hosted a special election day assembly. Grace and Thomas took their places on stage as the school band began to play. Henry was the first representative to approach the microphone. The Yellowhammer State of Alabama cast its 9 electoral votes for Thomas Cobb. Fletcher said, "The last frontier state of Alaska cast its 3 electoral votes for the best man for the job, Thomas Cobb." The Grand Canyon State of Arizona cast its electoral votes for Grace Campbell, Hannah called out. And so it went. State after state after state cast their electoral votes. The scoreboard in the gymnasium kept track of the totals. The voting demonstration was quickly coming to an end. Clara approached the podium. "The Badger State of Wisconsin states its 10 votes for my best friend, Grace Campbell. 268 for Thomas and 267 for Grace." Grace looked at the scoreboard. Thomas had 268 electoral votes. She had 267. There was only one state still unaccounted for. Wyoming. Ooh. Thomas grinned. Grace felt sick. Oh. Sam walked up to the microphone. He looked at Thomas. He looked at Grace. He looked down at Grace's handmade flag. Sam didn't say a word. "What are you waiting for?" Thomas whispered. The band stopped playing. All eyes were on Wyoming. Finally, Sam cleared his throat. "The Equality State of Wyoming cast its 3 electoral votes for Grace Campbell." The gymnasium erupted in loud cheers and a few boos. "Yay!" Boo. Mrs. Barrington approached the podium. "With 270 electoral votes, the winner is Grace Campbell." Thomas looked stunned. Grace hugged Sam. "Why did you do it?" she asked. Sam handed Grace his flag. "Because," he said, "I thought you were the best person for the job." The following week, students in Mrs. Barrington's class were preparing for their career day presentations. Grace volunteered to go first. She stood at the front of the room and glanced at the poster still hanging on the wall. "My name is Grace Campbell, and when I grow up, I'm going to be President of the United States." This time, everyone believed that she would. There she is, being sworn in as the first female president of the United States of America. Cool bean. You know what? I'm going to read this part of this book too. It's an author's note. You might be wondering what the Electoral College is and how it works. You're not alone. Many adults, including Ms Tracey, many adults have a hard time understanding the process. First of all, the Electoral College has nothing to do with going to college. It's our country's system for electing a president. When people vote in presidential elections, what they're really doing is telling the representatives from their states who they'd like to become president of the United States. The elected representatives, known as the electors, then cast their votes for electoral votes for the candidate who received the most popular votes in his or her state. Currently, there are 538 electors in the United States. Each state is assigned a number of electoral votes equal to the number of senators and representatives it has. Every state has 2 senators, but the number of representatives each state depends on its population. So, the more people a state has, the more electoral votes it has. California, for example, has a large population. It has 2 senators, just like the other states, and 53 members of the House of Representatives, unlike other states. Simply put, 2 senators plus 53 representatives, 55 electoral votes in the state of California. Likewise, states that are less populated will have fewer representatives and fewer electoral votes. But since electoral allotments are based on population, they are subject to change every 10 years when the United States tallies its population, a process referred to as taking a census. In an election, the presidential candidate to win the majority of electoral votes, 270, is the winner. Why does our country use such complicated system? The Electoral College was written into our Constitution all the way back in 1787. Americans didn't have televisions, radios, or computers back then. It was very difficult for average citizens to be accurately informed about all the candidates who were running for president. The Electoral College system gave elected officials a much bigger role in choosing the president of the United States. Even though most Americans do have access to information today, a constitutional amendment would have to be passed in order to change the current system. Let me read that again. A constitutional amendment would have to be passed in order to change the current system. Which one of you are going to grow up and change the system? Hundreds of suggestions for changing the election process have been offered over the years, but so far, not one of them has been approved by Congress. Congress! And little people out there reading this book with Ms Tracey, let's get to it. We need your ideas. It's time to change this process. You might be wondering, why should regular people even bother to vote in elections? If the electoral votes from state representatives that determines which man or woman gets to be president. I'll tell you why. It's those individual votes from regular people that add up to become the popular vote in each state. Electors cast all of their electoral votes for the candidates their constituents have given the majority of votes to. So every single vote is really important. That's Grace for President, written by Kelly DiPucchio, and the pictures were drawn very nicely by LeYuen Pham. Okay, now we've got that one done. Now, speaking of voting, yes, the old cat in the hat. If I had your vote, by the cat in the hat. And thank you very much for those of you all watching on Read to Me, Ms Tracey at youtube.com. We appreciate it. And by the way, we have a book buddy reading with us. This is Booker. Yep. And you know what? This is a great way for you to read to yourself or read to a friend, read to a book buddy like Booker. You can do it. Yeah. Your pets and your stuffed animals and your toys, they love to have you read books to them. Are you kidding me? Okay, here we go. If I had your vote, oh, the things I could do. Oh, the things I could do with a yes vote from you. If I had your vote, and if I were in charge, I would make a few changes, some small and some large. If I had your vote, and a fun staff, and not just a staff, but a staff and a half. I would have my fun staff fill the fridge with fun foods like hot dogs and cakes, and that make fun-feeling moods. If I had your vote, I would really prefer this office to be far more ovaler. Thing 1 and thing 2 would know just what to do to square up this room and re-oval it through. I bet they would. If I had your vote, I would smile and sit very still for a very long while. Hey, is there anybody out there watching? If there is, by any chance, let me know in the comment section, okay? Yeah, because I'd like to know that there's anyone out there watching, especially if you have little people. Make sure you give me their names so I can say hello to them, okay? The painters would paint me from morning until night to get every inch of my smiler just right. If I had your vote, I would sign all these bills with ink and a pen made from stick-you-pine quills. These bills would become laws, and those laws, with some luck, would now and for always stay stickety-stuck. If I had your vote, I could be on TV with all of these pointy things pointing at me. I think he's talking about these microphones. I would be in your house. You could all see my face. You could all see my face even way out in space. If I had your vote, I would take all these books and sort them by smell and hook them on hooks so that all you would need is your nose right there, beak or snout to sniff out a title and check a book out. I don't know if I like that idea. Books do smell, but I don't know if I want noses all over the books in the library. Nah, I'm thinking not. I wonder what this kind of book is about. And you really can't judge a book by its smell, Cat. But hey, he's got his own way of doing things, okay? It's his world. It's his story. But as for this room, I would leave it alone. That hat on his head looks a lot like my own. Agreeable. If I had your vote and these plates and old bowls for fun, I would put them on top of these poles and twirl them and swirl them around and around until they stop spinning and fall to the ground. But no need to panic or worry, you see. The new ones I pick will be perfect for me. Uh-oh, I gotta change the battery, you guys. I'm gonna finish this story really quickly, and then I gotta go get the battery. If I had your vote, I would meet other leaders who happen, like me, to be quite messy eaters. Oh, how would we eat? We would eat with our skorks and our flumes and our hands and our feet. You know what? I'm going to go grab it really quick. I don't want this. Hold the story. Hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on. Here, talk to Booker. Read the Booker. Grab your book and read the book. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get the, whatchamajigga. Stay there, Booker. Okay, we are back in business. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, eating with our hands and our feet. No, use the spoons and the forks, please. Thank you. If I had your vote and some almost hatched eggs with shells on top, and the bottom half, legs, those long-legged eggs would not be a batch of eggs you could catch before they all hatch. If I had your vote, every night in the sky would look like it looks on the 4th of July. Kabooms of all colors, like pink, blue, and red, would spark up the dark in the sky overhead. And right at the end, I would send up a socket the size of a space shuttle rocket. The socket would soar and kaboom in the sky, then socks of all sizes would fly from up high. If I had your vote, I could hire a crew, a clean it all crew that would clean this house through. Thing 1 would wipe windows, thing 2 would scrub chairs, and little cat A would shampoozle the stairs. Shampoozle? I like that. I wonder if the Cat in the Hat was hanging out with Snoop Dogg. Shampoozle sounds like a Snoop Dogg word, doesn't it? Then little cat B all the way to cat Z would sweep every speckle of dirt they could see. With one final touch-up from little cat Q, this not-so-new house would look never newer than new. If I had your vote, that is what I would do. The country would love me. I think, how about you? Cat in the Hat is so silly. If I had your vote, by the Cat in the Hat. Cat for president. All righty. That was pretty cute. All righty, we're reading this simultaneously on the I See Me Facebook Live page. And we're also broadcasting it. Hello out there in YouTube land. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So glad to have you all with us. Okay, that's a Steph Curry commercial, but we don't need that right now, do we? All righty, so we'll do President Squid. Wait, there we go. And this is written by Reynolds and illustrated by Sara Varon. I have realized something very important, something that changes everything. No giant squid has ever been president before, which means I will be the first President Squid. Now that has a nice ring to it. I will be the greatest president who ever lived. Want to know why? Here are 5 important reasons. Look, he's got his face on the money already. I like that. Reason number 1, presidents wear ties. See, tie, tie, tie. Bow ties count, yeah. Wearing a tie is very presidential, and I look fabulous in a tie. Do you see any other giant squids around here wearing ties? That's what I thought. He's got ties all over the place. Reason number 2. The president has the biggest house ever. Have you seen the president's house? It's huge. I mean, this place is enormous. Well, have you seen my house? It's not just huge. It's not just enormous. It's absolutely titanic. Pretty cool, huh? It's actually the Titanic. Well, I guess it is pretty cool. Reason number 3. Presidents are famous. Let's face it, I'm the most famous sea creature on this whole page. Do you know that guy? Of course not. He's a nobody. How about that fish over there? You've never heard of him, right? How about me? Do you know who I am? President Squid, you say. Exactly. I even have a book named after me. You're reading it right now. See? I'm famous. Reason number 4. Presidents get to do all the talking. Boy, do they. I'm great at doing all the talking. I'm doing all the talking right now. I'm doing all the talking about 5 reasons why I should be president. And when presidents talk, everyone has to listen. Are you listening? I said everyone has to listen. And finally, reason number 5. The president is the big boss. Bossing people around may be the most presidential thing a president does. I'm perfect at being the big boss. After all, there's nobody bigger than me. See? And there's nobody bossier than me. Hey, shark, brush your teeth. Hey, jellyfish, calm your tentacles. You look terrible. See? Very bossy. I'll be in charge of everybody. I think I'm ready for all that power. Let's go over this once more for all of you who are a little slow. Wears a tie? Check. A huge house? Check. Famous? Check. Does all the talking? Checkity check check. Big and bossy? Check and check. I'm perfect for this job. All hail President Squid! I said, all hail President Squid! There's no one hailing. There's no hailing going on. What's the problem, people? You! Sardine! Why aren't you hailing me? I would, but I'm stuck in this clam. He doesn't seem to care about your choice of neckwear, sir. Does that clam know that I'm wearing a tie? Yeah, doesn't seem to care about your neckwear. How strange. Does the clam know how big my house is? He seems unimpressed. Do you know who I am, Clam? Do you realize how famous I am? He says he's never heard of you, sir. You have got to be kidding me. Clam, this is President Squid. I do all the talking, yes sirree, Bob. When I talk, everybody has to listen. Presidents talk, clams listen. That's my motto. I say swim, you say how fast. I say back off from the sardine. You back off, bub. And I say unhand him this very instant. Clams don't have ears, sir. Stand back, little sardine. I'm coming to help you. Well, that's very noble of the squid. You did it, sir. You helped me. I did help you. I just jumped in there and helped you. Helping people, that's very presidential. It is. It is. Being president is more work than I thought. Oh, no. All hail President Squid! All hail President Squid! All hail President Squid! All hail President Squid! Wait! I have realized something very important. Being president is exhausting. I do not want to be president. King Squid, all-powerful ruler of the entire universe. All hail the power, none of the work. Brother. Now that has a nice ring to it. Look at all of his legs. Well, that was President Squid, and it was written by Reynolds and illustrated by Sara, Varon. I like that story a lot as well. Okay, I have time for one more story. I would stay on a little longer, but I've got Bible study in just 6 minutes, and I don't want to miss a minute of that. Okay, here we go. Max for President by Jarrett J. Krasaska. Krasaska? All right, yes, by J.K. He wrote this for Megan, Shannon, and Ryan. Mrs. Antonio announced that it was time to elect a new class president. The president will have the honor of serving our school. Max thought that he would like to be class president. Ooh, it would be kind of fun. So did Kelly. And Max made signs that said, Max for president. Max for president, Max for president, Max for president. And Kelly made signs too. Vote for Kelly. Better school lunches for your belly. Vote Max. Max made buttons and gave them to all of his classmates. So did Kelly. Max made promises If I'm elected class president, I will work to have a better indoor recesses and more exciting games in the game room. Come on, Paige, turn for me. Kelly made promises too. Vote for me and we will have more exciting morning announcements and better school lunches. The time came to vote. Every student could only vote for one candidate, Max or Kelly. Vote for one, Max, check, or Kelly, check. Max waited anxiously. So did Kelly. After the ballots were collected and counted, Mrs. Antonio announced the winner. And the new class president is Kelly! Kelly cheered. Woohoo! Max didn't. Now, Kelly, your first job as president is to choose a good vice president. Kelly knew that she needed a good vice president to help get work done. She thought for a second and then asked, Max, would you be my vice president? I sure would. Good job, Max. And from then on, both Kelly and Max worked hard to make their school a better place. Friday is pizza day, $1 per slice. Helped by new games for the game room. Pizza. Come on, Paige, turn for me. The end. Cool beans. I like that story. That was Max for President by Jarrett J. Krasaska. Well, I hope you have enjoyed the books that we read about voting. I know Booker thoroughly enjoyed them. I certainly did too. Thank you very much for tuning in. I apologize for having the technical difficulty. I couldn't get the I See Me Bookstore page to load up on the live section on Facebook, but I was ready on YouTube, and I'm thanking you all for hanging in with me. And please, if you didn't get a chance to join in with us live, you can always go to Read to Me, Ms Tracey at youtube.com, and you can see today's stories. I am going to complete, after Bible study, I am going to complete reading some more of these election books, and you can see those on YouTube, and I will certainly love to have you join in with us on that subject. And I also am going to also do some bedtime stories on the Read to Me, Ms Tracey book channel. Now, if you want to send me a message, you can also go to readtomemistracey at gmail.com. That's another place where you can go and you can make requests, and you can ask me to say hello to your class or your school. What's that guy doing outside my house? And you can do that. Or if you want me to come to your school and read to your school, I can certainly do that as well. But you got to email me at readtomemistracey at gmail.com. I thank you all for watching and viewing with us today. It's been a pleasure having you along with us. Thank you so much. Take care and make sure you give yourself a hug. In the meantime, I will see you later. Alligator in a wild crocodile. Give a hug, ladybug, blow a kiss, mwah! Jellyfish, I'll see you soon. Big baboon, out the door, dinosaur. Take care, polar bear, wave goodbye, butterfly. Mwah! See you next time. Ahala!